I'm happy that your LDL is high because that's exactly where it needs to be.
Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan, and a big shout out to my moderator Peter for forwarding me this video from a guy I've covered a bunch of times on this channel making outrageous statements, and this one might take the cake. It's from Dr. Ken Berry, and in this video he's saying that LDL cholesterol, your bad cholesterol, is actually good for you. If it's high, that's awesome. He's actually really stoked and happy if you have high cholesterol. So I'm sure this outrageous message of high cholesterol is good cholesterol plays really well for his carnivore-based social media following, but there's no way to get around it. Directly contradicts decades of randomized trials and position statements from pretty much every health organization that makes position statements on cardiovascular disease. So anyway, let's take apart what he says in this video, claim by claim, and compare it to what actual real lipid and cardiology researchers actually say.
I'm about to admit to you that I was wrong. When I first started this YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok journey back in 2017, 2018, I was very cautious talking about LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol.
Okay, so far so good, I guess.
Now, I even back then said it's not as big a deal as they make it out to be, but the more I read the research, the more I talk to experts from all around the world.
Well, that couldn't be more vague and ambiguous. What research are you reading? Like research, what, some guy on TikTok or something like that? And experts? Again, what do you constitute as an expert? Are you talking about actual cardiologists, organizations of cardiologists, or some shirtless guy in the jungle ranting about nonsense?
The #1 killer of humans worldwide is cardiovascular disease. But what is really causing cardiovascular disease? You stop the two things that are causing it: seed oils and processed sugars. Meat and organs are the most nutritious food for humans on the planet. Do not fear these from a cardiovascular health perspective. They are not the culprits.
I officially, at this point, do not care if your LDL cholesterol is high. And I'm increasingly coming to the realization that it's good if your LDL cholesterol is high.
Oh, really? So that's what these experts have taught you there, Dr. Berry, huh? That high bad cholesterol is actually good.
Your LDL-C, you know that number your doctor shits their pants about?
So I'm going to infer from that statement there of his that his LDL cholesterol is sky high.
I'm happy that your LDL is high because that's exactly where it needs to be.
Frankly, I don't trust the experts or research that Dr. Berry did into this matter one bit. I bet they're just a bunch of whack job conspiracy theorists or something like that. I'll show you what the actual cardiology experts say about the matter. And there's no disagreement. Every major cardiovascular organization that I could find treats LDL as a key risk factor. The American Heart Association literally calls high LDL a major risk factor for cardiovascular disease. And the CDC lists high LDL as a major contributor to both heart disease and stroke. And I want to point out, this is exactly why I've been urging people for years on this channel not to get your health advice from lone people like me or Dr. Berry. Doesn't matter if he has an MD after his name, he could be spouting complete false misinformation that doesn't fall in line with the research, with the scientific consensus. Follow what health organizations are saying, organizations of health professionals. And in this case, there's the European Atherosclerosis Society, the EAS, and they say that consistent evidence from numerous and multiple different types of clinical and genetic studies unequivocally establish that LDL causes cardiovascular disease. I'm certain that Dr. Berry and his experts that he researches on TikTok or wherever use the line that, well, it's debatable whether LDL is simply a biomarker or actually causally involved in causing heart disease. Well, it's no longer up for debate, as the EAS consensus statement here explicitly states. This paper that summarizes their statement says, yeah, it has been a subject of debate whether LDL is a biomarker or whether it's causal for cardiovascular disease. Well, the EAS statement now definitively shows that LDL causes heart disease. You guys hearing this? That it definitively, science rarely uses these strong extreme words like definitive or always, but they know that LDL causes heart disease. And again, this statement is coming from a group of health professionals, not just any health professionals. They're not like foot doctors or general practitioners. This is an organization of cardiovascular professionals making this definitive statement about LDL causing heart disease. So at this point, I will make it perfectly clear that there are no health organizations in the world that I can find that say, yeah, high LDL cholesterol is really good for you, despite Dr. Berry's research and experts and all that. The experts that I'm showing here are saying the complete opposite. In fact, I challenge anyone who is not trusting what I'm saying here to find any health organization that says, yeah, high LDL cholesterol, awesome, let alone find the opinion of an organization of cardiovascular researchers that say, yeah, high LDL cholesterol is great, because you're not going to find that, because it is a bold-faced lie.
In the face of normal metabolic markers like A1C, fasting insulin, blood sugar, triglycerides, HDL, and HSCRP, if those are all normal, I'm glad your LDL is high.
So when Barry says that other biomarkers like A1C are looking good, he's happy, well, what he's talking about are current labs, how you are right now. But that fails to miss the critical point that heart disease is a decades-long process. You can be lean, feel great, and have normal insulin and normal CRP in your 30s or 40s and still be quietly accumulating plaque if your LDL has been elevated for years. It's your total exposure to atherogenic particles over time that matters, not whether your labs looked pretty while you're doing a 2-year carnivore experiment. So if Dr. Barry's fine and happy that his and other people's bad cholesterol levels are high, well, that flips the burden of proof. If what he's saying is true, if you're to take him seriously and feel confident you're not going to risk your health following his advice, you should be able to find studies that prove what he's saying. There should be decades of research showing that high LDL levels are actually protective against risk of heart disease. But unfortunately for Dr. Barry's position, that data simply does not exist. What we do have is a huge stack of genetic and clinical trial evidence telling us that chronically high LDL and apoB is a bad bet for your arteries, regardless of how trendy your diet is. So Dr. Barry is right in that metabolic health is more than just one number. Your HDL, your A1C, and other markers all do matter. But for him to say, I don't care what your LDL is, I want it high, that's great. That goes way beyond what the evidence shows. As I showed here, every major heart health guideline says the same thing, that long-term exposure to LDL/apoB drives plaque, and lowering your exposure lowers risk. We can argue about like how much lower it should be, what's the optimal number for your LDL cholesterol, but it's not what Dr. Barry's saying, that higher is the better. There's absolutely zero science to back that up, unless you count his shirtless influencer, the Jungle People, as experts in research.
Why I don't worry about my quote unquote elevated cholesterol, which should say elevated LDL, elevated low density of a protein. Multiple reasons. Number one, becoming more specific as I enumerate them. Number one, LDL is essential for life.
So now is when I stop presenting all the scientific evidence. I'm going to quickly get on my little soapbox here, because I have a personal feeling about what Dr. Barry's saying here, and I think it's very dangerous, potentially life-threatening advice that he's giving to people, considering what he's saying here is going against the scientific consensus, directly opposes what every heart health organization says and what cardiologist organizations say. What Dr. Barry's saying here is most likely wrong. And if you follow it, you are increasing your risk of cardiovascular disease and potentially other bad things. When someone's giving advice like this, again, don't take my opinion, don't take his, follow what the actual published experts in that field say, organizations of those experts, and decide from that, because any one person could be wrong, any one person could be lying, but a whole organization of cardiovascular experts, probably not wrong. And if they say something is definitively true, you better listen to what they're saying and not dismiss it as a bunch of just scientific conspiracy theory nonsense or whatever people try to say about this. So anyway, guys, leave your questions and comments down below. Let me know what you think about people like Dr. Barry saying, hey, the higher your cholesterol, the better, given that all the scientific evidence is completely the opposite. It's increasing your risk of dying. What do you think? Is this ethical? I mean, how can this be allowed? I know we have free speech and all, but this is just like potentially like deadly advice. What do you think about that? So comment down below, hit like, share this video, try to get the right information out there. If you think everything I said was wrong, you believe your LDL cholesterol should be like 380 because that's awesome for your heart health, come to my Friday live stream, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and we'll try to have a discussion about it. So I can't wait to see you all then on Friday. Until then, remember, it doesn't suck being vegan.